Hi everybody, welcome back. This is attorney Robert Pascal and I'm going to be discussing with you today tips to prepare for your U.S. Embassy visa interview. So alas, for many of you, the day now has arrived when you went to your mailbox or maybe you went into your email and you received a letter from the U.S. Embassy or the National Visa Center telling you that your interview has been scheduled. Now, when the notice arrives, you're usually going to be given a period about 6 to 8 weeks prior to the interview. And you're going to need this time to complete any remaining requirements, such as your medical examination, obtaining your police clearance letter, or getting together any additional documentation that is being requested for the interview. Now, the requirements are going to differ between the types of visas that you're going to be interviewing for, as there are significant differences in the documentation and requirements between an immigrant and a non-immigrant visa. The most important step to first off is to read that interview letter completely. All right, so take your time. Read through it, not just once, do it 2 times. The letter will not only specify the date and time of the interview, but it's also going to direct you to the interview requirements of that specific U.S. Embassy, because there are different requirements pertaining to the embassy that you may be applying at. Now, you can locate the U.S. Embassy of your interview using the following link. That's http://www.usembassy.gov. Now, when you go to this website, you're going to first click on the hemisphere where your country's located, and then from there it's going to take you to a list of countries within that specific region. Once you find the appropriate U.S. Embassy or consulate, you're going to go ahead and click on that link that indicates visas. You will now be taken to a page that will further direct you to the information, and that's going to break down whether you are an immigrant or a non-visa immigrant applicant. Now, after clicking the appropriate link, the next page will have a link for the interview. So go ahead, click on that, and the page then will have very important information such as the list of documents you will need to bring to the interview. Remember, the documents that you will need to bring to the interview are going to be the originals or certified copies of the copies that you may have previously submitted. Also, I recommend to my clients to make 1 additional copy of these documents, so in the event the consular officer may need one, they won't keep your original or certified, so make extras. Now, one other thing that you may be directed to complete when you receive the interview notice is what's called a DS-160 for a non-immigrant, or a DS-260 immigrant visa application online. This will be done through the U.S. Department of State website. There will be a link address in your specific interview letter as to where to go and where you need to complete that application, and that will need to be done prior to your interview date. In addition to that, you will also, if you are going to be obtaining a immigrant visa, you will also have to wait till that interview letter is received, because with that you can then schedule your physical examination appointment. I ask you to go to the U.S. Department of State website at https://travel.state.gov/content/visas/en/immigrate/immigrant process interview prepare medical examination.html. If you want, you can go to my Facebook page at Robert A. Pascal, Esquire, and there you will find a link to the WordPress article that will give you all of the links to these websites. Now, once you get onto the medical examination page, I'm going to direct you to look at the middle of it. You're going to see a drop-down menu. It should be a listing of like a PDF next to it. And then there you will see the names of the particular countries. Click on that, and that will give you the names of the authorized physicians in that country to be able to conduct the physical examinations. Do not go to any physician that is not on that list, because your medical examination will be rejected if it is not performed by one of those authorized civil surgeons. Also, make sure, all right, if it's been at least a year or so since your application was submitted with a police clearance certificate, make sure that you have a up-to-date certificate. And in some countries, such as Peru, you're actually going to need 2 separate clearance certificates. So, each of these U.S. Embassy websites will spell out what you will need. In addition, with the interview notice, there's going to be a document checklist. And here's a copy of one. Basically, it will have a series of different letter and number codes. So when you take a look on the additional pages here, regarding documentation that may be missing or still needs to be submitted, just cross-check that with your interview notice here. And if there are any missing, make sure you get those in order. And on the day of your interview, I ask my clients always to dress appropriately and be on time. Because if you are late for your appointment, you will normally be not denied entry into the U.S. Embassy or Consulate, and then you are going to have to go through a complicated process of rescheduling your interview, and that may delay you a few weeks. And usually, as far as who can go with you into the interview, they request that primarily the applicant only, unless you are a senior citizen being accompanied by someone to help you along, or a minor child. I recommend to my clients that have applied for either a fiancé or a spousal visa, I do encourage them to go with either their spouses or fiancés to the interview. But you will need to check with the specific embassy to see if they will permit you in with them. Also, and unfortunately, no attorneys are permitted to go into an embassy interview with you. Some additional pointers: when you get in there during the interview process, you're going to remain calm. Your interview will basically take place in front of a bank teller's glass, and anything that pertains to documentation that they will need to see. I tell my clients, if you have photos and photo albums, take them out, put them in single sleeves. If you have documents, make sure that they're broken down so they can be a size to be able to fit under that teller glass at the window. All right. In addition, be honest. Do not lie. If you lie, that will result in an immediate denial of your application. Plus, there could be future consequences, in being able to reapply if you lie to a consular officer. So do not, be honest. And when the interview is completed, you will usually be advised of the determination at that point. With that, I wish you the best of luck in your interview. If you have any questions, please feel free to call our office at 954-522-4058. Thank you.